Okay, so today we're talking about how do we use rounding and estimating to help us figure out the answers when we are solving with fractions. So first, just a little quick reminder on the difference between rounding and estimating. They go hand in hand, but there is a difference between the two. So when we rounding is all about finding a number that is close to the number that we've started with, but not just a close number. You want to make sure it's close and it's friendly. Like to say that rounding should be your best friend. It's all about making your life easier. So don't pick a number, don't round to something that's going to make it still a little difficult. Round to a number that's going to make it easy for us to solve. Then estimating is when you've already rounded, but then you solve the problem. So whether that's adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. So you have to round before you can estimate. So we use 3 benchmark fractions when we round because, again, we're looking for a number that is close and friendly. Those 3 benchmark fractions are 0, 1/2, and 1 whole. Okay, so you always want to either round to these 3 benchmark fractions. So let's do some practice. Okay, so I have the problem 9/10 minus 5/8. So again, I want to round it to one of these 3 benchmarks. So 9/10 I would say is pretty close to 1 whole, minus 5/8, which I would say is pretty close to 1/2. Because 1/2 of 8 would be 4, so 5 is only 1 off from there. So if I have 1 minus 1/2, that should leave me with about a half. So whatever 9/10 minus 5/8 should be, our answer is, it should be pretty close to 1/2. 6/7 I would say is pretty close to 1, plus 3/6, which is actually exactly 1/2. So I have 1 plus 1/2, which would give me 1 and 1/2. So again, that gets me pretty darn close to whatever the real answer of this problem is. It should be pretty darn close to 1 and 1/2. Our next one, 7/8 would be 1 whole, minus, again, 6/10, 1 and 1/2, or excuse me, 1/2. When I subtract, I get 1/2. Okay, so again, gets me pretty darn close there. It's just to kind of give us an estimate of what should our answer be close to. Our first word problem says Hector and Veronica made trail mix that has 2/3 cups of almonds, 7/8 cups of peanuts, and 4/5 cups of raisins in it. Hector estimated that they made about 3 cups. So I want to know, is his estimate greater than or less than the actual sum? So I'm going to write out those answers here, or those numbers. So I got 2/3, 7/8, and 4/5. So if I was going to round these 3 fractions, 2/3 is close to 1, 7/8 is close to 1, and 4/5 is close to 1. So I would say Hector's estimate that they made about 3 cups is a pretty good estimate. But I want to know, is his estimate greater than or less than the actual sum? So is 3 cups going to be more than what they actually have or less than what they actually have? So when I look at these 3 fractions, 2/3 is not 1 whole. So we rounded up to 1. 7/8 is not 1 whole, but it's pretty close, and we rounded up to 1. 4/5 is not 1 whole, but we rounded up to 1. So for these 3 fractions, we rounded up every single time. So that means his estimate is going to be greater than what the actual amount is because we rounded up. We rounded up on every single fraction. So we call that kind of overestimating. He's giving us an over amount, but 3 will still be pretty darn close. It'll be a little under 3 cups. Okay, I have Jake added 1/8 cup of sunflower seeds and 4/5 cup of banana chips to his sundae. What is the best estimate of the total amount of toppings that Jake added to his sundae? So I have 1/8 and 4/5. Okay, so I'm going to round both of these numbers. 1/8 is pretty close to 0. It's a little over 0. And 4/5 is pretty close to 1. So 0 plus 1 would give me 1 cup. Okay, and that takes care of rounding and estimating.